Okay, you're the host. Do you need me?
No, ma'am.
Nice to see you.
Great, bye.
I like your long hair. Hi, Mona. Oh, hi, Mona. Oh, hi, Shannon. Oh my gosh, look, it's like old home week. I haven't seen Mona and Shannon in a while.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Shannon. Maybe you've been here and I just sign out and then go do things.
Can you all see my screen? Okay, I think I'm getting a thumbs up from Mona, I think.
I see it.
Yeah, I got it too.
So Andrea, I think we're getting some feedback from you in the background. Thank you, Andrea. All right, perfect. All right, so we're only a few minutes behind, which is okay because I think we have more time than probably. I always say that, but then I talk a lot, so then it goes right into the 1:30 time frame. But welcome everyone. I think we are live on Facebook, right, Alan? Did I get it right? Are we on Facebook?
I'm looking now. I don't see it yet.
Okay, well, I thought we were. I thought I did it right. Thought it told me we were. Not, I can't worry about it too much.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything in my notifications saying that we're live.
Oh, we're live. I see it.
Okay.
Unless it went away. Yeah, okay. I think it's there. We're good. All right, so let me hit record because I always promise that I'll do that and never do it. So let's see. More. There we go. All right. Yeah. This virtual world is always a little. I'm sorry, Alan, you were saying something?
I was just saying, I see you live now.
Okay, perfect. This virtual world we have to always allow a little grace for tech, no matter how well we think we prepared. Technology is always interesting, but I believe I'm recording. If not, forgive me, people that I told I would record this in advance. But welcome everybody. Welcome to Marketing Outside the Box. We host this program every Wednesday. So welcome to all the new people, whether you're in the Zoom or whether you're joining us on Facebook. Welcome to anyone returning. We are starting a new series. It's a new month, which means new series. So I want to tell you a little bit about how we're going to run the next 3 months, whether you're able to attend every time or whether you pop in and out as your schedule allows. The next 3 months is focused on a fourth quarter marketing series. So it's all focused on what you need to do in the fourth quarter. October is going to be a bit more heavier for you because we're already in the fourth quarter and we want to make sure that you have everything you need to actively make sure that you have a successful fourth quarter. And then, so we'll meet every Wednesday this month, but I want to let you know in advance that in November and in December, we're only meeting twice. So November, it's every other week. That's because we have Veterans Day and Thanksgiving in those 2 months. So it's every other week in November. And then in December, it's just the first 2 weeks of December. And then we give you the rest of the year for you to relax, for you to go extra hard with your business, or for you to just enjoy the holidays. And then we hope you come back with us in the new year. But yeah, so that's Marketing Outside the Box for the next 3 months from a timing frame point. Want to make sure you have that in your mind. But welcome again. I'm Magali Yacinth. I serve as the Interim Executive Director of Hustle Winston-Salem. We do this program in conjunction with the Foresight Tech Small Business Center, where Mr. Alan Younger serves as the director, and he's on the call with us today. And also in conjunction with Flywheel Co-working. You saw Andrea before she had to jump off. And we are happy to provide this program, whether we were doing it in person and not doing it virtually. We're happy to constantly provide this to the community, and we'll continue to do so as long as the need remains there. Which, from what I can tell, the need is there, so we'll constantly provide it. If you ever have something that you would like for us to focus on, you can always send us a message, send us an email. We're happy to cater to the needs of your business. So that's us in a nutshell. Actually, before we get started, I want to make sure that I make you aware of a few opportunities. I'm not sure how many of you receive our weekly emails, but I want to point out the email that we sent out this week. And Alan can probably speak more to these, but as a matter of fact, let me see if I can switch what I'm sharing for a moment. Let's see, because I do have it up on my screen. It might make life easier to show it to you. Can you all see that instead? My website, I mean, my internet. Okay, perfect. So I wanted to make sure I just point out a few things to you. This email particularly, we focused on a few things that we thought would be fun for you to know, and then a lot of funding opportunities, which is what I want to focus on today. And then just some of the regular fundamentals, if you are not familiar, that I want to make sure you are. So when you get a chance, look at it in more detail. But the first few things are just a couple of things happening in our community. I want to quickly just kind of focus on Mona's exhibit. Mona, who's on the call with us right now, she has an exhibit opening up on the 20th of this month. And I think it's a good opportunity as you think about what we talked about in Marketing Outside the Box last month to explore events. And also we focused a lot on making sure that you rejuvenate and you start fresh and you make time for yourself. And I think this is a perfect example of you being able to do that, as well as supporting a local entrepreneur in their art. So just wanted to make sure I highlight that. And there are other cool things that I really want you to take time to look at. If you haven't already, to please do so. And everything that I've listed is free. So, I mean, there's really no excuse to not take advantage of some of these opportunities, especially this. This is normally a $1,500 conference. So especially that. On the funds part, I think we listed 5 new funds, 1, 2, 3, 4 new funds, and then a few others that we had talked about before. Please take time to look at them, especially if you're a minority business owner. If you have questions, you can always reach out to the different people mentioned in the different opportunities, but you also have a resource right here in Alan Younger. He serves on a few of those committees that are providing the funds, so you can always reach out to him as well. So again, please take the opportunity to look at those. And then the last thing I want to point out, these are some opportunities as far as the fundamentals. These are the opportunities in our community for those of you that are in Winston-Salem or near Winston-Salem, North Carolina. These are some things that are available to you. If you're fairly new with your business, Taking the Leap is it's a free 4-week course that teaches you the basic, and it's provided that by this by the SBTDC. Once again, it's something that you want to take advantage of. And then if you don't already know, these are some of the resources provided to you by Hustle. So I just wanted to take a moment to highlight those things. I know there may be some questions. I won't use this time to answer those questions, but if you do have more questions about anything I showed you, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are more than happy to answer those questions or direct you to the right people. Are you back to seeing my Rewriting the Rules of Retail screen? All right, perfect. So I won't take too much more of the time on that and just jump right into the presentation by asking, just from a show of hands or from reactions in Zoom or responses on Facebook, how many of you feel that you are a retailer? Or maybe I should ask how many people think they're not, but how many people believe that they are a retailer? Excellent. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up and hands raised. So that's good to know. Good to know. I'm happy to see that. So of course, by definition, the standard definition that they give us for retailers is it's selling a good or selling a service for use or for consumption, not for resale. That's the general definition or understanding that we have of being a retailer. I want to go a step further and add to my definition of it. And as we go through this series, our definition of it, when you think about retailer, it is all of those things. It is if you sell a good or if you provide a service that you are giving for or selling for use or consumption, not for resale. Like you're not selling something for somebody to go and resell it. Okay. So you're in the resale industry, but I want to go a step further and say that includes not just products and services, but if you sell advice or if you sell entertainment. So if you're a podcaster, if you make music, if you are a coach or a therapist or anything within that nature, you need to think of yourself as a retailer, because what you're providing is a service that an individual or a small group of individuals will benefit from, as opposed to them, as opposed to you giving it to them for them to resell it to somebody else. So you still, in my opinion, fall under the definition of a retailer. So hopefully a few more of you feel like you are a retailer if you didn't think you were a retailer before this moment. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the data on small businesses that they're anticipating for the fourth quarter as it relates to 2020. So I researched it, and I don't think I'll be able to switch to the graphs to show you. So what I did when you received this presentation is I've linked right there, Alignable and PPAI. I've linked the data for you to kind of see the charts and see the information that where this is coming from. But it shows that data on small businesses suggests that most retailers, and in fact, it's 69%, fear a disappointing fourth quarter, and that 1 in 3 of them worry about having to shut their doors, whether that's virtual doors or physical doors, shut their doors by the end of the year. So retail represents one of the top markets for promotional products and services. A report shows input from over 500,000 small business owners that they've been polling since March of this year, including 5,500 in the last week that they've polled. The research found that layoffs are expected over the next month, bringing payroll down from 82% to 70% pre-COVID levels. And this is the first time since May of this year that small business owners anticipate a major decrease in hiring. And some of you may find that interesting because you may think, well, weren't small business owners already experiencing a decrease in hiring? If you paid attention to some of the trends during the pandemic, what America realized is something that most of us as small business owners, and definitely all of our hustlers, always understood, is that small business owners keep economies going. So we saw that small business owners were maintaining or trying their best to maintain, whether that meant keeping employees or doing whatever needed to be done to, of course, keep their business afloat, but also have a positive impact on the economy. But again, this is the first time since May that small business owners across the U.S. are anticipating a decrease in hiring. That same survey also found that 46% of small business owners are reporting earning less than 50% of the revenues they had prior to COVID, and 66% of the retailers, of those small business owners that are retailers, who usually would plan for a temporary holiday hiring, because you all know this is the time of year where they start to increase for hiring for the holidays. A lot of them are no longer sure. 66% of them are no longer sure that they'll need to hire the extra staff, which of course is not good for our economy. So they're anticipating fewer sales in 2020, and 33% of them expect sales to be less than half of what they received this time last year. So none of that is good news. I know it sounds horrible, and it's a terrible way to start off a presentation about what we're going to do about rewriting the rules of retail. But I share all of that because I want you to know the reality of what this fourth quarter looks like for business owners, and as a business owner, what that means for you, and provide some ways that you can best navigate this time. So don't let all of that data that I just shared with you discourage you. Matter of fact, we're going to start with some of the rules that I have for you during these 4 weeks, especially today, because I'm going to give it to you straight, no chaser, what the expectations are in order for you to succeed. We do not want you to fail. In the percentage of businesses that they anticipate not to make it through the end of the year, we do not want you to be in that number. Failure is not an option for you. Write that down. Failure is not an option, okay? So everything that we talk through today, next week, and throughout the month, I expect that you take action on it within 48 hours. Since we do this on a Wednesday, and that means I expect you to do it on a Friday. If you decide to wait on a Saturday to do it, that's fine. I'll provide a little grace. But there should be no reason that the next Monday come around and you have not done something that you've learned on Wednesday to better your business. Because otherwise, if you start down that path, you won't make it through the fourth quarter. You'll be part of those statistics, and we refuse to let that happen, okay? Okay, good. So just a few things as we talk about just how I'm going to give it to you straight. And I want you to kind of understand the climate a little bit before I jump right into what I'm giving you. Let me tell you kind of what we'll be exploring the next couple of weeks. Today, we're kind of going through what I call the rules. So we'll go through some of the 10 commandments of retail, and then we'll go through 7 strategies. If we have time, we'll go through the 7 strategies. Next week, it may be me, but more than likely, we'll have a guest presenter who's more of an expert in this area, but they're going to talk to us more about signage and COVID-19 readiness and things of that nature during the fourth quarter. The third week, we're literally giving you tools, things that you just have to change what the example we put in and put in your business name, giving you tools that you can use, whether you print it and use it, whether you put it on social media and use it, whatever. We're giving you the tools that you need to do the best, survive during this time of the year. And then the last week, we're going to go through specific sales strategies that will work this year, that we hope will work. And it won't be what you normally would have used in 2019, because you can't do that. That's not going to work. Okay. So that's what the next 4 weeks look like for us. So let's get to it. Retailers need to stop expecting business to return to normal. There's no going back to how it was anytime soon. And we shared this with you back in April. Remember when the pandemic first happened and we hosted the pivoting during the pandemic. And if you need to go back and watch that, please do. When we hosted that, we told you there's no such thing as going back to the way it was. That has not changed since April. We are now in October, and I'm giving you the same message. Let that go. We're moving into a new world. We are in a new world. So there's no going back to that. So, because even before COVID-19 and before the economic crisis we find ourselves in right now, brick and mortar retailers especially had already been fighting a fierce battle against the Amazon and other e-commerce players. And those challenges have just accelerated due to some of the things we've already mentioned. Harvard Business Review put out some data not too long ago, and it's from McKinsey. It's from some data from McKinsey, and it shows that consumers are likely to keep the behaviors they've adopted, which involves, doing the stay-at-home orders. Ordering at home, more online shopping, and fewer mall visits and things like that. The data shows that retailers will likely keep those habits. I can tell you for a fact, I am one of those consumers. The opportunity that COVID-19 provided is that, you can order your stuff and wait outside and somebody's going to bring it to you. Y'all, before COVID-19, that has always been my dream. I hated getting out of the car. I was like, oh my gosh. So when COVID-19 kind of made it mandatory, it's like, look at God. And I can't imagine going back to finding a parking spot, especially if I'm downtown, finding a parking spot to go into the restaurant to pick up my food to go. Like, no, this is where I'm parked. Thank you. And I consider myself to be the average consumer. So these are some of the things that are happening. So you have to kind of think through those. So as retailers, as small business owner, you cannot afford to be in a wait and see mode. You can't wait and see what happens next. You're going to wait and see yourself out of business. So let's not do that. So what we're going to talk about next is just you reimagining the baseline requirements and then turning your attention to taking your customer experience to the next level. So regardless of those predictions that I've shared with you and some of the data that I've shared with you, as a retailer, you must stay on top of your game. Right now, we are all experiencing intense competition. Like as business owners, everybody is competing with each other for us, for the consumer. So you have to think through this. You think about it from a consumer standpoint. And let me tell you, consumers will not tolerate sloppy sale approaches, and they will not tolerate poor experiences. And all of that goes into your retail strategy. So if you want to be more effective with this, you must vow to serve what we call the 10 commandments of retail. Okay? So let's get into those 10 commandments. Now, I will say I did not make up the 10 commandments. The 10 commandments did not come up in 2020. These commandments, at least as far as entrepreneur.com is concerned, they've put these commandments out since 2013, probably even before then. So what I will say is the good news is the commandments have not changed since 2013, at least. Even though we're in a pandemic, it's how you manage the commandments will be the difference between you surviving the next 3 months or not. So while the commandments were always in place, and some people picked and choose which commandment they wanted to operate and how, you have no choice if you want to survive in 2020, especially in this fourth quarter, but to follow these commandments. So commandment number 1, thou shalt not believe anyone is just looking. And I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention to the chat. So if you do have a question and I'm not responding, please unmute yourself and just jump in and interrupt me. I promise I won't be mad. And Alan will let me know if there's a question that comes up either on Facebook or in the chat. And Alan, you can interrupt me at any time.
Right. There are no questions either place. I'm monitoring.
Okay. And I don't have the chat locked, do I? It's open. Last time I had it locked and didn't know that.
Actually, it is disabled.
Okay. I'm so glad I asked that question.
Me too.
Let me take a moment to fix that. Like, I don't know why that happens, but let me take a second to fix that so that we don't have those issues if you are in a position where you cannot talk and you need to type. So that should fix it. I think everyone should be able to talk and text now. But anyway, so it's fixed, right, Alan? Give me a thumbs up. All right, perfect. All right, where was I? So commandment number 1, thou shalt not believe anyone is just looking. If someone tells you, whether they're visiting your website or they're in your store or in your restaurant, in your art gallery, they came to a session that you're hosting and they just want to know more, and they're like, oh no, I'm just here to learn more, or oh, I'm just looking. Do not accept that as an answer. Disregard this idea that any buyer is just looking. And how about you respond to them with, did you know that 90% of the people that come here or visit my website start off by just having a look? Like, engage them that way. Why did you visit today? And you're wondering, like, how am I going to do that on my website? If you're not thinking you need to automatically have a website, especially if you're selling a product or service, that you automatically have a website where there's a pop-up that's asking these questions, or a virtual robot, or whatever you need to change your website, or you need to kind of have one of those chat features on your website. A lot of website builders have the chat feature now, where as soon as somebody put a response in there, it's sending you a text. And I'm using the word you need to because, again, I'm giving it to you straight, no chaser. This is 2020. You're not going to survive any other way. I'll tell you, when I think of the generation a little younger than me, the Gen Z, I mean, they are amazing, right? But they also don't have time for anything that's lacking in customer service. We did a whole generational model back in January. Feel free to go back and watch those as well. And I think we showed you all the spending habits of Gen Z as well as millennials. And baby boomers are still your biggest spenders, and baby boomers love customer service. So if baby boomers are now being forced to visit your website, they still expect that customer service on your website. So like I said, don't assume or don't accept that someone was just looking. Hit them with that percentage or whatever. If it's not 90% for you, let whatever percent it is. I mean, I feel like most people that are looking end up spending, but that's me. Maybe I'm just a spender. But anyway, so you also want to show them specials. You can show them. This is easy. All of the things I'm saying are obviously easier if you are in person, but they all apply on a virtual platform. You want a banner to pop up to let them know your deal of the day or your special that you're running till the end of the week or whatever the case. They need to see that. Okay. So show them those specials. Let them know any other updates. If you know that you're going to have some maintenance on your website in 3 days, don't tell them 30 minutes before it happens. You need to have that banner up at minimum a week before. But if you want to have it up an entire month in advance, let them know, hey, on November 2nd, we will have some site maintenance. Fine. They'll love it. They at least they know, well, shoot, let me purchase this in case something go down with this website and I know I want this. So you let them know any updates. And then if you have any issues with inventory, so in person, again, it's easy to just say to them, hey, we ran out of that and we restock on Thursdays. But online, if it just says out of stock, why don't you provide value? Go the extra mile to say, but this will be available, blah, 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 pre-order here. So many people miss the mark on that part. It's just out of stock or out of order, and you just have to wait until it's up again. But if you tell me it's going to be available again on Monday the 12th, I'm coming back on the 12th, so I don't miss it next time for it to go out of stock. So I'm going to make that purchase on the 12th. And that's because you made it easier for me to do so. All of this that I'm saying also ties back to the email marketing strategies we had in August. So even if you don't have a website, let's just say you are not in a position to have all of those automations on your website, pop up, whatever. Let's just say the cost is a little bit more than you can spend right now. That's okay. We know that since August, you created an email marketing strategy. So instead, the internet is amazing. It's keeping track of when somebody visits your website. Send out this email, even if you only send it to that one person or you send it to everybody, and let them know everything I just said about your sales, about your maintenance, about whatever, your inventory. Communicate with people via email. Commandment number 2, thou shalt never ignore the customer. That seems so obvious, but people do it so wrong. People visit your website or people come into a place of business that you are running. If you sell something, they came there to buy. Even if they don't know that they came there to buy because they came there to look. No, you need to have the mentality that you came here to buy, that I came to your website to buy something. I came to your store to buy something. Don't make me hunt for things. You come to me. So when I visit your website, again, the internet is intelligent. You can have platforms where the internet will tell you if this is my first time visiting your website or if I'm a repeat customer or a repeat visitor. So you can have your pop-up say, welcome to my website. How can I help you? Or you can have it say, welcome back. Did you forget something or whatever? You know what I mean? You can have it as intelligent as you want it to be. Once again, that's up to you in your budget, but don't ignore people. Same thing if they come into your space. You don't want them to walk in and at no point did someone address that this person just walked in. That's horrible, like human nature practices, but it's horrible for business as well. And keep in mind, it's better to inform a customer of offers or help them than it is to ignore them. So a lot of times we don't go to customers because we think we're badgering them or we're ignoring them. If they needed help, they would say they needed help. Don't think that way, okay? You are, no matter what service or product you provide, you are in a position of customer service. So you constantly want to make sure that you are serving your customer. So while this information seems pretty basic, once again, people constantly miss the opportunity. So don't be one of those people. You cannot afford it in fourth quarter 2020. You cannot afford not to follow the commandments. Commandment number 3, thou shalt aggressively sell. So this is really interesting coming from me because I hate when people aggressively sell to me. I'm like, leave me alone. But you need to do it. We are in highly competitive times. Selling beyond ordinary expected levels requires a commitment to aggressively sell to every customer and make the most out of every opportunity. So if this was regular times and I would say maybe lighten up a bit, don't bother people. But I'm telling you, we are changing the game. We are rewriting the rules during the fourth quarter of this year. So you need to be as aggressive as you can without becoming a nuisance, without getting arrested. So be as aggressive as you professionally can with your customers. And, come up with your strategy. Begin with a team meeting. Even if you are a team of one, even if it's just you, have a team meeting with yourself. Dedicate time to where you're going to sit down and come up with your sales strategy. Okay. And in that sales strategy meeting you have with your team, come up with your targets, come up with your objectives, come up with the tools that you're going to need to accomplish them. Come up with that plan. As we say it all the time, you need to know the goal, right? So do all of that. That way, when it's time to execute, you're not figuring it out while you're doing it. You don't have time to figure it out while you're doing it. Because like I said, giving it to you straight, no, straight, no, whatever I said. No, but what am I trying to say? We are already behind the ball if you are just now doing your fourth quarter marketing. And it's okay if you are just now doing your fourth quarter marketing. It's absolutely okay, but keep in mind that we are technically late. The best thing you could have done for yourself is have your fourth quarter marketing pretty solid by the end of August, and that's the latest, right? So now we are in the fourth quarter and we're talking about fourth quarter marketing, and that's okay. But this is why you have to be aggressive. I think I saw something pop up in the chat. Let me see. Oh, straight no chaser. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Thank you so much, Alan. But yeah, so again, be aggressive, be aggressive. You remember that cheerleading TV show or movie? Be aggressive, be aggressive. Chant that in your mind. Anytime you feel like you might feel like you are doing too much, that's fine. Magali told me to be aggressive, be aggressive, because that's what you need to do in order to make it through the fourth quarter. Commandment number 4, thou shalt not let the customer wait. Didn't we already talk about this when you said ignore the customer? No, we did not already talk about this. So I'm specifically saying wait because when customers wait, number 1, they become agitated, restless, and they become uncertain about their patience, about their purchase, excuse me. No customer should have to wait for anything. So in person, that's obvious. If people don't feel like they're getting your attention and they've been waiting too long, they're just going to leave. You just lost a sale. Online, you're thinking, well, how are they being impatient online? If you have a payment system that is not efficient and it's loading and it's been loading, keep in mind, you're talking about a generation of people who are accustomed to the internet. So 15 seconds is already too long. But a whole minute, it's still loading. 2 minutes, it's still loading. What you've just done was put your sale at risk. Because while it's loading in those 2 minutes, I started thinking, do I even really need this? Do I even have the patience to wait for this to finally tell me that my payment is confirmed? Like, so you need to make sure that you have a payment system that is efficient enough to make your customers decide like, okay, that was easy, quick, whatever. I'll come back. Because even if somebody waited through your 3-minute payment process, they're probably not coming back because who wants to deal with that again? So that was their first and last sale because your process made them wait. So think through that. And if you, again, because I like to think about it from all sides, if you are not in a position to pay for a better payment process right now or before the end of the fourth quarter, what do you need to do instead? And most platforms do this, not all. You need to have some type of disclaimer while it's clocking, some type of disclaimer that's on the screen that says, please be patient. Do not click again, or whatever you need the customer to know while this payment process is. Again, you're likely losing a customer. Even if you make that one sale, you probably didn't make a repeat customer out of this one sale, but just think through that. And even in person. So let's just say you sell products or services and you don't have a physical brick and mortar, like you meet your customer where they are and you show up with a card reader or swiper. Like that process should be quick because, you know, you're already providing me the convenience of meeting me where I am. You have this square. When I swipe my square, I want to be able to make that payment happen and go. We're good. I don't want it to be, I'm still standing there and you're trying to have 10-minute conversation with me because you're figuring out what's going on with your payment. But I'm like, I have to go. How about we worry about this next time? That's what people are thinking. So you do not want customers to wait. That needs to be one of the top things you think about because you don't want to lose that. Commandment number 5, thou shalt treat every buyer like they came to spend money. While this should always have been the case, this is even more important as you think about the racial climate of our country right now. Historically, we have not had equality, and I would even say it's not even only a racial thing, it's also the class issue that we've had when it came to sales. Don't qualify the customer's ability to make a purchase. You need to treat anyone who visits your website or enters your store as if they have money to spend, regardless of what they say, regardless of how they act. You need to approach them as if they have $1 million to spend in your store. And you need to handle them that way. Point blank, period. That way you have great customer service. You likely gain a customer, a repeat customer at that. And they have a positive opinion of you, your company, and your brand. I don't think I need to spend a lot of time on that because it's very clear, but it must be said, and you have to think about your business that way. Commandment number 6, thou shalt greet every customer at the front door. Didn't you already tell me this when you said don't ignore customers? No, I did not. I did not. And let me tell you why I did not. So while I tell you don't ignore customers, you're telling them about your sales and you're being polite, whatever. When I say greet the customer at the front door, this is specifically making sure you acknowledge your customer when they first get on that website, when they first walk through that door. As soon as I visit your website, like I already said, you do want that pop-up, but also like have a banner or you can have a ticker running through your site that says, welcome to blah, 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 blah. Or thank you for visiting, blah, blah, blah. Like people need to feel whatever. And if you happen to have a website that requests people to put in an email, don't send me an email a week after I put that in there. Have that auto set up to immediately send me an email to say, thank you for visiting. Welcome to blah, 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 blah. You know, whatever your business name is. Tell them whatever you need to know, even if it's only 2 sentences in just a nice big picture. You have properly greeted that person. You have properly welcomed them to taking 2 minutes out of their day to come see what you are about. And you need to thank them for that. That's good business, good customer service. Because customers like to feel welcome. It just likes to feel, they like to feel welcome. And then after you greet customers, if it's virtual, part of your virtual greeting needs to also say, ask them if they're looking for something specific so that you can lead them to the right part of your website. If you only offer 2 services, that's okay. If you only offer 1 service, that's okay. Still ask the question because they may realize, oh, I didn't even know that's what you did do. But okay, cool. Let me look more into that. So think through how your website is operating for you in retail. Commandment 7. I don't know why it just says that. Why I forgot the thou shall, but it should say that management shall engage with every customer. So if you are the owner and you're wondering, how do I engage with every customer? This goes right back to that email marketing. You want to make sure that an email gets sent to your customers from the CEO, from the owner, from the president, or from the director, whatever your title is, to let them know, hi, Magali, thank you for visiting suchandsuch.com today. I noticed that you blah, blah. Now, this is very time intensive, I know. But if you want to succeed and you want to go above and beyond from your competitors, you got to do it. You have to do it. So you can make that greeting as general as you want, but just know the more you personalize that greeting, or the more you personalize that touch point between management and the customer, the more likely you are to have that customer engage with you again. This will separate your business from the competition, and it increases the value that you are giving to that customer. It's worth the time. It's worth the energy. I'm telling you, these commandments only work if you put them to work. Okay? And if you are in person, your business isn't really operating virtually, you're still doing really well with brick and mortar, same thing applies. If you are management and you are in the store and you have a sales clerk helping, great. You as the manager can take some time to step out and say, thank you for visiting us. How great is it when you walk into a store and the owner knows your name? That still matters. Okay? That still matters. Or even if the owner don't know your name, they came to you and let you know, hey, this is my store. I run this place. Is there anything that I can particularly do to help you? Or, you know what I'm saying? Are my sales reps doing good with you? Are you having a pleasant experience? Those matter. Those things make me come back. Where are we? Are we on number 8? Yep. Commandment number 8. Thou shalt provide the best solution, not just the lowest price. Let me say that again. Provide the best solution, not just the lowest price. Especially in this time, we think that if we give the cheaper price, we're going to get the customers. No. When people buy things, and this is Entrepreneur 101, when people buy things, they're buying things to solve a problem. People buy things to solve problems. So if I buy a bag of chips, the problem I was having was I was hungry, right? And the chip helped me. So people buy things to solve a problem. So you, as the entrepreneur, as the business owner, you must ask the right questions, listen to the customer, and know available inventory in order for you to provide the best solution. And a lot of times when we provide services, we don't think about what we have as inventory. It's inventory. Your time is your inventory. Okay? Do you have enough inventory to provide your customer with the best solution? So ask yourself the right questions. Ask your customers and yourself the right questions. Listen to the response and know what you have available to provide the best solution. Does that make sense? As far as giving them the best solution and not just the lowest price? I think I saw something pop up in the chat again. Let me see if that's a question. Okay. Yeah, Marianne, I agree. I got to give it to you straight. I agree. So before I go into number 9 and 10,
can I just comment on number 8, or do you want to go through 9 and 10?
No, you go ahead. Go ahead, comment.
A lot of times we at the Small Business Center encourage business owners to think of themselves as problem solvers. One of the ways that I challenge people to think is, do your best to determine what your clients believe their biggest challenges are. And then what you want to communicate to them is how your business provides value to them in helping them to solve their challenges.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, it depends on what the business is, but in general, think of what your product or service is as a solution to somebody's challenge.
Yep. Thank you for that, Ellen. Thank you. Let's see. Marviette says, people also buy from the experience you created for them. Yep. So true. So true. Let's see here. I'm getting back to, where were we? Were we on number 9? Is that correct? I think we're on number 9. So, thou shalt attempt a second sale, and thou shalt help customers extend beyond their budget. I want to read 9 and 10 because I want to go, before I go into a bit more detail about those things, I want to say those are two commandments that you have to handle with care as you think about the economic climate of the nation. So I said it already, but I'm going to say it again. I truly encourage that you go back and watch our Pivoting During the Pandemic marketing series that we did back in April. It's on our Facebook page. That's Hustle Winston-Salem's Facebook page. Or you can email us at hustlewsinfo@gmail.com to request those presentations. And I'm saying to go back and watch them, especially as it relates to these two commandments, because we talked a little bit about back then, we talked about how you need to best approach the customer with care during this time. And it's only gotten worse from an economic standpoint. So before I tell you everything I'm going to say about commandment 9 and 10, because again, I'm a straight shooter and you need to be aggressive, right? I still want you to think about managing it with care. So go back and watch those when you have a chance. So number 9 was, thou shalt attempt a second sale. Every purchase creates an opportunity for another sale. Every single purchase that you do creates an opportunity for another sale. So you want to wait until the first product or service or whatever, right before you complete that, and bring up another offer that you have, or bring up something that would complement what they are about to purchase. And bring it up at that moment. You know, and it's sometimes it seems insensitive and it seems like you're just trying to get people to spend money, but it's smart marketing and it's smart retail. Okay, think about it that way. You have to think as a business when you're doing these things. So, you know, I am a victim. I'll use myself as the example all the time. I am a victim of it. And I am not mad at the stores for taking advantage of me when they do this, or the websites. I'll use the example. I am an island girl that was raised in Miami, Florida, which means I prefer the summer over the winter. I now live in North Carolina, which most people still consider the South, and geographically is still the South. But being from Miami, I've moved up north as far as I'm concerned. So when November comes around, I don't play about the weather. I am dressed to stay warm. So if I decided that I'm purchasing some new earmuffs because I need earmuffs this year for the winter, and you tell me, you know, this scarf goes really well with that earmuff and it's going to keep you warm, I'm not going to argue with you, because what's the value to me? The value to me is staying warm. So you just made 2 sales. I came for earmuffs. You told me this scarf is going to keep me warm with the earmuffs. It matched. I'm going to look cute. Say less. You need to think about it the same way. And if you really pay attention, you probably already have. This happens to us all the time, in person or online. In person, you know, right before we get to the register, they'll tell you, we have great gloves to match that coat. Let me show you. And I mean, if you're anything like me, really, show me. Whether or not I buy it, I don't know, but now I want to see the gloves. And if it's online, especially like the Amazons of the world, and even if you are visiting some of our small businesses online, a lot of them are getting great at doing this, and I'm happy to see that at your purchase. You know, they'll show you people also bought this with this product, or we recommend you purchase this with that product. And it's not something you thought about, but you're like, oh, okay. So this is really done all the time, and you need to join the ranks of people doing it. Okay. And keep in mind, people are open to buying more things to justify their first purchase. Like I use the example of the gloves and the earmuffs. Yeah, I was about to spend $15 on these earmuffs when I probably don't need to be spending $15, but you told me that if I get the scarf with it, I'll get it for $25. I've now justified the sale. I'm like, oh, I get 2 products for, you know, and I saved a little money. I have justified it in my mind. And most people are like me. So keep that in mind. Same thing with services. I know I'm using products, but same thing with services. If I decided I came here for a massage, let's just say you own a massage place, and I decided I need a little relaxation, and I came for a massage. You decided to use some amazing oil, lavender oil, during my massage. You know, right before I'm making that payment for the massage I got today, you let me know you know, the oil we use on you today, you can use that at home and just rub it on your back a little bit, and that'll bring you a little relaxation, almost as if you were still here. Really? Let me get 2 of those. You know, like, people do it to us all the time. You just need to put yourself in that position to make sure that you are selling your products. So while product and service saturation, because that's really what it is, it will increase your profit. Again, it also ensures customer loyalty, because now you added value to my life. Now I didn't know I needed that scarf, but you added value and told me I needed that scarf. And when that scarf is keeping me warm on that cold December day, I'm going to remember that I got it from you. And next time I need a scarf, I'm going to you. It's that simple. Commandment number 10 was, thou shalt help customers extend beyond their budget. So unfortunately and fortunately, consumers buy beyond their budget every day. Almost every household in America, including the government, extend beyond their budget. And we see this with our government all the time, right? So if the government can do it, please feel free to do it to the rest of us. So again, we're in the aggressive mindset. When the customer tell you that they can't afford it, assume they are lying. Assume that they are lying. I'm not saying customers are lying, but as the retailer, as the person making the sale, you need to assume that you can get them to still make this purchase, and not by selling. You let them see the value. Again, think about the example that I just used with the scarf. She brought value to me. I was more focused on staying warm than I was on the price of the scarf, right? Same thing. So acknowledge the idea that, you know, they might have a restricted budget. So you tell them, I understand, I get it. We all are going through hard times. But you keep showing them that product, or you keep telling them about your service. You just let them know that the products, your services, these are solutions, and then let them see the value of those things are more important than the budget that's restricting them. Because again, people spend beyond our means every day. It's sad, but it's true when I say it's honestly the American way. Sad, but true. So you can make those sales, and we can keep our economy going, and you can keep your business going and keep your family fed if you follow these things. So great retailers must look for ways to go above and beyond for customers and provide an exceptional customer experience that will lead to loyalty and referrals. So again, treat every customer like a millionaire who is ready and able to buy from you today. Retailers who do this will see how easily they win customer over, and then those customers turn into loyal, frequent shoppers. Like, you will see it happen all the time. The next slide is our last slide, and we're not going to go through this slide. You see I made a little note here that says, these are things that I just want you to think on, and you can act on them if you want. I really encourage you. We may or may not come back to this in a future session. If we do come back to it in a future session, it will be the 4th week of this series. But I really want you to think of your business as offering retail merchandising, even if you offer a service. And I really wish I had the time to go in depth with each of these, and I'll be sure to. I'll just commit to bringing this back up during the series. But these are 7, just reading them off bat without going into any detail. Thinking about your customer journey, supporting your product's narrative or your service narrative, understanding why your customers don't pay, advocating for premium shelf space. And I don't only mean physical shelf space. Your website offers shelf space. Think about your website as if it's a brick and mortar. Research retail merchandising trends. We already talked about this a little bit. You want to avoid having out of stock. And then you want to maintain relationships. These are things that we know, but we need to go a little deeper into these things. So I might just bring this into the beginning of next week's presentation before we start talking about e-commerce versus brick and mortar, which is our focus next week. I think that's my next slide. Next week we're doing brick and mortar versus e-commerce plus signage and COVID readiness. That's what we're focusing on next week. We may have an expert presenter that talk about these topics. It may be Mr. Bobby Boone, who owns And Access, which is phenomenal. Actually, another DC-based company, but he does a lot of work in this area. And he actually recently wrote a guidebook for retailers in this industry. I mean, in these ways that can best help. So if he's available, he will be the one to talk more about that. But I may open up maybe the first, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes to cover these things in a little bit more detail, so I don't leave you hanging like that with this stuff, because this is some good stuff that we do kind of probably need to break into. If we don't get to it next week, I promise you it'll be in week 4 of this series. So either next week or week 4, but I think you need to get it sooner because we need you to take action. You don't have time to dream on this. So you'll have today's presentation within the hour, as long as you registered for this via Zoom. Facebook folks, you would have to send us an email, but if you registered for this via Zoom, you will have this presentation in your inbox within the hour, because I need you to take action within 48 hours to best operate your business. I know I didn't leave a lot of time for questions, but are there any questions from anyone about anything that we talked about today?
One comment that was in the Facebook chat was in all caps with about 6 exclamation points. It just said preach, because something you were saying really resonated with some folks. And then I'm looking at the chat now. I don't see any questions, but just great info. Need to drop. Oh, Mona had to drop to get to another call. Here's a question from Brittany. What was the website with the fun fundamentals?
Oh, so great question, Brittany. So it's not a website. It was our email, Hustle's email. If you are not receiving our email, I can forward it to you, Brittany, if you want to just drop your email address in there. Or if you follow us on Instagram, if you click on the link in our bio, you'll see where it says newsletters, and it's the most recent newsletter, and you can see it in there. But either way, we can get it to you, Brittany. Well, I think I would have your email if you registered today, so I can send it to you. Thank you, Marvia and Sheridan. Could you send a quick point can you say a quick point on how can you study why customers don't buy? Am I reading your question right? Could you unmute yourself and make sure I understand your question, Sheridan?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying, because just reading that quick bullet point at the end, and it was saying how or study why customers don't buy. And I was just asking, like,
oh, yeah. You want me to just kind of say something on that really quickly? So yes, it's imperative to know what about your products or your services delight your customer and what pushes them to purchase. But understanding why they don't buy can sometimes be even more valuable. So you want to know, is it because the customer connects more with a competitor? Is it because they're not getting the answer that they need from your packaging or from your website, or when they contact you directly, are they not being able to get the responses they need? So is that why they're not becoming a customer? Or are they abandoning the purchase cycle altogether? Is it because of your purchasing process? So you want to spend some time understanding why your customers are not making purchases, because then those are the things you want to fix. Those are areas in your retail strategy that you know that you want to fix. So I suggest if you ask yourself these questions, some of the questions that I just said, ask yourself those questions, you'll probably be able to patch some of those holes in your purchase funnel. So something you can do, Sheridan, and anyone else, is before you make any changes to your retail strategy, just look at your products or your services. Look at your products or your services. Look at the packaging if it's a product. Look at the services list that you're offering if it's services, and look at the tactics that you're using. Look at how you're displaying them, whether it's on your website, whether it's in the store, whatever the case may be. If it's just your website, how are you displaying your services? Just look at how you're displaying them. So you're looking at the packaging, you're looking at how you're displaying them, you're looking at your merchandising strategy. Then ask yourself, do they engage? Number one. Do they entertain? Number two. And do they educate? Number three. You want to ask yourself those questions because those are the things ultimately that your customer is looking for. Like, Is your product, is your packaging, is something about this engaging to me? If the answer is no, that's fine. Then move to the next thing. Is something about this entertaining? No. Well, does the product at least educate me? And a lot of times we think, well, I don't sell an education product. Why does it need to educate me? Let me make something very clear. I try my best to support a lot of Black-owned businesses online, so I'll purchase a lot of things. Something that I always give feedback. A lot of the businesses that I've purchased from, they'll tell you I sent them feedback all the time, because a lot of them, and I understand, but a lot of them would send me a product, but the packaging doesn't tell me what to do with the product. Like, yeah, I know this is a face mask, but what do I do? Do I add water? Do I add this amount of water? Do I mix it? Do I let it sit there for 5 minutes? Like, don't assume that I know. You need to educate your customer on this product. And Sheridan, I know you do pins. So does your packaging tell customers what they need to do? And even if it's not on the packaging, when you ship it to them, is there something typed out in that shipping box or bag with instructions to educate me on, oh, this is how I put my pin to my flower, and this is how I either put it on my clothing, or this is how I put it on my hair, whatever. Does it just send me with a small little tab that says visit this page on my website or my YouTube for instructions on how to do this? That's what I mean by education. So don't think about education from a school standpoint, but how are you educating the customer or the consumer on how to best utilize your product or service? Was that helpful, Sheridan?
Yes, very much.
Perfect. Were there any other questions or comments? All right, cool. Hopefully you all found value in this information. Like I said, you'll have it in your inbox within the hour. And you want to go ahead and make use of that. And we hope to see you next week. I know that Marlene may not be able to join us next week, but we'll be sure to still get it to you, Marlene.
And let me say one more thing before we all leave. If y'all like listening to Magali, give a big thumbs up. But then also, you can join us today at 3 o'clock when Magali and some other business owners talk about their small business success stories, in particular during this crazy time that we've been in since March. So you can go to the Small Business Center website and register, and you can join us via Zoom. Or if you're not available today, the video will be available through Facebook on the Small Business Center at Forsyth Tech page. So whether you join us on Facebook Live, through Zoom, or watch it after the fact, you're going to hear some helpful information that's going to help you to be successful.
Awesome. Marianne, I see your hand raised. Did you have a question, or did you not mean to have it raised?
I was trying to give you a thumbs up. I don't.
That's okay. Thank you. And Marlene, I saw you unmuted yourself. Did you have a question or a comment before we leave today?
Yes, I just want to say this is the best. I mean, you know I love you anyway, but this is the best, okay? As a baby boomer and a consumer, this aggravates me when I'm talking to customer service and they don't even listen to me. So this is spot on. Unbelievable. Yeah. And I'm going to try my hardest to come next week.
Because we're going to miss you. It's not going to be the same without you.
No, thank you.
Thank you so much, Marlene. Well, everyone, I will give you the rest of your day. Thank you so much for sticking around, and see you all next week. Have a good day.